News.
That breaking news right now is out of the city of Davis in Yolo County, where police are investigating a third stabbing in less than a week. This latest stabbing happened at a homeless camp off 2nd and L Streets overnight. One woman was stabbed and is now in critical condition in the hospital. The other two stabbings were deadly. Those people died. One man was killed in Central Park on Thursday, and then last Saturday, a UC Davis student was stabbed to death in Sycamore Park. We want to go live now to KCRA3's Brittany Hope, who is outside the Davis Police Department, where they just held a news conference. Brittany, did you learn any new information from the police chief?
You know, Lisa, with this case, honestly, as we learn more, there are just more questions. And one of the reasons is because something like this does not happen in Davis. The police chief said he's been in the department for almost 30 years now, if not more. And he said that they have never seen anything like this. In terms of calling this a serial killer, a serial stabbing, right now, they say it's just too soon to say, but they say they are working with folks in the FBI on the East Coast out of Virginia to try to create sketches, capture video, to really decide if they're going to qualify this as a serial killer or serial stabbings. Now, at this point, I want to bring you the very latest on the investigation. In fact, they're bringing in a lot of different crews right now as we're on air. We know 30 different homicide detectives from Sacramento Police and the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office alone are here meeting with Davis Police and the Yolo County Sheriff. They're really trying to divide and conquer on this case and treat each of these three stabbings as their own case. And that's because at this point, officials are not comfortable connecting all three of these. There's a lot of different reasons for that, but one is because for that first stabbing that happened on Thursday night, they don't have a suspect description. And at this point, they're collecting video evidence. They say they have a few things here and there, but right now they just aren't comfortable going ahead and officially saying that these three are connected. At this point, though, public safety is the #1 concern for officials here. We know that there's extra patrols at UC Davis, parks, schools along areas that aren't as well lit. They're really trying to deploy folks from Woodland Police, Elk Grove Police. This is an entire region dealing with this. For the question, though, of safety, we did ask the police chief about that. Take a listen to what he said.
For the public, as the mayor said, we understand that there's fear and trepidation right now. We're getting questions. Is it safe to go outside? Well, we've had 3 stabbings, 2 homicides, and they've occurred over the past couple of days. That's, to my knowledge, not ever occurred in Davis. I've been with the department coming up on 40 years now. And this morning I spoke with one of the people who trained me back in the 80s when I was new to the police department. And he was here for a long time before me. And he said that he couldn't recall any similar incidents like this. So this is different. And the attacks were particularly violent and brazen.
Now, there are questions about the city forcing some kind of curfew on residents here. I asked the police chief and the mayor about that today. They said at this point they just don't feel ready to close down the entire city, but have those recommendations. Walk in groups, don't go out at night, be aware of your surroundings. Now, a big question with this case is the pattern of it. We had the first stabbing Thursday night, the second on Saturday night, and the third just last night, happening every other day. I asked the police chief about that, if that's part of their investigation, and he said that pattern is absolutely part of their investigation. Of course, we just finished a nearly hour-long press conference here with police, the FBI, and the mayor. We'll bring you more information coming up at 12:30 and in our newscast this afternoon. For now, we're live in Davis. Brittany Hope, KCRA 3 News.
Brittany, did they mention anything more about a suspect description? I know in that press conference, the police chief mentioned long hair, but have they said anything else?
So that's really an issue with this case, is that for the first stabbing, there's no suspect description at all. They didn't find the man who had been stabbed and killed until the next morning. For that second incident that killed the UC Davis student, that is where we got the description with the long hair. But we actually did just talk with the lieutenant before coming on air and got an updated description. Now, this is what the witnesses of this overnight shooting, or excuse me, of that overnight stabbing at the homeless encampment said. And according to the lieutenant, this is their exact words, so I'm just going to get it off my phone here. They said, a light complected male, with curly hair, someone who's 5'6" to 5'9", a thin, slender build. And this is what the person was last wearing: a dark sweatshirt, black Adidas pants that have that white stripe down the side, black shoes, and a brown backpack. So last night's description wasn't someone with long hair, it was someone with curly hair. But all of the other descriptors do match the description from that second stabbing. So again, whether they're looking for a person, a suspect, or suspects, that's all still part of this.
Have police said if they're going to up their patrols and security just around these homeless encampments?
So I did ask about that today, and in fact, we spoke with some people who live in that encampment this morning who saw the person, who saw the suspect, who actually had an interaction with him, saw him hiding behind trees before he came to stab their friend who was inside of her tent. And a lot of them said to us, you know, we want to go inside a motel, we want a shelter, we really need some help. I asked the city about that today. They said that they're looking into that today. In fact, right now, they're deploying different law enforcement and organizations to different known homeless encampments around the city to spread word about that victim, or excuse me, about the suspect description, about what exactly is going on, and to offer some sort of resources. As far as an official program where all the homeless people here in Davis are going to be moved somewhere else, or if there's going to be one officer per encampment, we don't have answers on that either.
He did seem like they just don't have a lot of the resources that you would need to do a couple of these different things. Did you get that impression as well?
You know, I'd heard a little bit of that as well, but they're really bringing everyone in. I mean, the FBI is officially today now here on the ground. They've been working with the FBI since last week, but they're officially here now. 30 homicide detectives from Sacramento, Elk Grove Police, Woodland Police, West Sacramento Police, all the different county sheriffs in our area. So they are bringing in resources from across the region. At this point, they said they have their own Davis police officers working 12-hour shifts just patrolling. They really said that their main goal is to have a presence, so wherever you are in Davis, to see some sort of law enforcement. But that is the reality. You know, we asked, are you going to have someone at every single homeless encampment, at every single school? And they just said they're not able to do that right now. Same with the curfew. They're just not able to shut down the city yet in those ways, or to have the resources to even monitor every single inch of the city, because at this point they're just even trying to find a suspect. So there's a lot of different moving parts. We know that over the next few days they're going to be calling in even more resources, just because this case is challenging in many different ways. You have a department who hasn't really dealt with this before. Luckily, we have other partners in district attorney's offices who are stepping in. But even last night, when that third stabbing happened, all of Davis was in a shelter in place, and they brought in drones from outside jurisdictions to help with them. So they're getting the support, and more will be on their way. In fact, I think later today we'll hear an update on just how many more folks are headed to Davis.
Yeah, and the canines. They brought out the canines last night, too, to try and sniff out the suspect. All right, Brittany Hope, as you said, the more information we get, the more questions we have. So it's very complicated right now, especially because these 3 stabbings haven't been connected. Thank you so much for the live report and all the latest information, Brittany. I know you'll stay on top of it. There's also a lot of concern in Davis for students on campus at UC Davis walking to class. We spoke with the UC Davis police chief about the measures being taken on campus to keep students safe.
This is a very emotional and disturbing event, really, in our community, both within the city and on campus. It's very rare for this community to experience very brutal murders, homicides like this. And so there is a lot of concern. And so we try to do that by supplementing and supporting them with more security, more policing, and also really maybe even changing some of the class schedules that more people will be able to work remote, not having to come on campus and be out and about. So those are all things that are being considered right now.
Just reminding everyone that at UC Davis, you can get a police escort to your home or from your home if you're feeling unsafe. You can always use the buddy system. The police chief for the city of Davis was also recommending everyone always make sure you're with a buddy. Better to be in bigger groups, and obviously better to just be out during the daylight. As concern grows on campus and around the city, we talk with students to see how they're feeling. KCRA 3's Mike DeSalle continues our coverage with how what you see isn't necessarily reflective of how concerned students really are.
I am standing here on campus to get a feel of what the feeling is to this latest stabbing incident. And, you know, it really depends on your perspective. We start with where I'm standing. We are right outside the ARC, the Activities and Recreation Center here on campus, and this is normally a busy and active spot on campus, and today is no different. From a visual perspective, it looks like life as normal, at least as the routine goes here on campus, but almost as soon as you start talking to any of the students or staff coming and going from this spot, clearly these stabbings are on top of mind.
It's scary for everybody right now. It's just uncertain, and I feel like just driving around, it seems a little bit, I don't know, everybody's just a little bit more on edge for sure.
And then a very unique perspective. I met a commuter student who actually has a history of being in prison. And while violence in society is not something that surprises him, given the location and proximity, this is.
Personally, I understand the threat that society is. Not only from my own personal experiences of me being, having to protect myself, but also of multiple friends, of just basically at any moment in time, your life can be taken. But my initial reaction was like, well, what's going on at Davis? Like, that's not normal. So yeah, totally. Like, I came to Davis because it was a prestigious community, a prestigious, college.
And while the scene outside the ARC here on campus may look like life as normal, the routine, the daily routine, once you start talking to these students, you clearly realize this is something that continues to weigh on their minds. On the campus of UC Davis, Mike Tassell, KCRA 3 News.
You can imagine it weighs on their minds. From campus to residents of Davis, there's a lot of unrest. People are fearful and scared right now. In this latest stabbing, we've learned the victim is a 64-year-old homeless woman. Police say she was stabbed through her tent as she was getting ready to fall asleep. It happened at the encampment at 2nd and L Streets in Davis. Davis police confirmed that the woman had to undergo surgery this morning. The victim's friends say that they were in a tent next to hers when the attacker came to terrorize them.
I felt like he was lurking around my tent. I heard some sticks snapping. I heard my tarp snap, and I touched the back of my tent. It was tense at first and loosened up. And I was like, man, like, God, just protect us all, man. Next thing you know, I hear her screaming, oh, God, help, please, he's here.
We need to be protected. We're humans, too. Just because we don't have a home and keys, that doesn't make it any less, of a person.
Police said they are reaching out to the homeless across Davis today. They're visiting known encampments, offering resources and also giving them a suspect information and letting them know what's happening just in case they didn't already hear about it. The second stabbing victim has been identified as Maji Abu Najm. We spoke with his dad in our very emotional conversation with him. We learned that Kareem was just weeks from graduation at the time of his death.
Many of his friends were sitting in this room and sharing stories about him. He is full of life, full of ambition, trying to help every person he can. I've just received between yesterday and today countless emails from people who would just say, your son touched our lives, and your son helped us, your son mentored us.
It's heartbreaking. Maji Abu Najm tells us that the family was originally from Lebanon and they left the country to escape war. He says they're considering creating a scholarship named after Kareem to honor his memory. We'll continue to follow this breaking news on air and online throughout the day. We have a QR code that'll take you right to the latest information. Make sure you scan that, and also make sure you have the KCRA 3 app downloaded. It's free to download. Turn on the push alerts to stay updated on the very latest information.